this session for all of Colwen Hotels. So thanks for being here. Today we get to work on the fallback options. So thanks for being here today. If I asked you, Emma, if I said, what is a fallback option, would you have some kind of an idea of what a fallback option is?
Yes,
would you be able to? Oh, go right ahead.
Oh. Sorry, I clicked a button. I was just trying to fix that. Yeah, we have fallback options of AAA rates, or we'll offer, sometimes if people aren't members of AAA, we will offer them the Hilton Honors fallback option. Nice. And then if they're not Hilton Honors members, we'll offer to give them that rate if they sign up to be a member when they arrive at the hotel.
Fantastic. You are absolutely correct. All of those different rates that you just mentioned are absolutely considered one of your fallback options of fallback rate. So there's actually 4 of them that we can use, and it's all going to be based on why the caller doesn't want to make that reservation. So not only are we going to talk about our fallback options, but we're also going to discuss the resistance question, which is the easy, nice way to ask the caller what their problem is and why they don't want to make the reservation with us. So y'all are already doing fantastic. So we will roll forward with that. Thank you very much for sharing that, Emma. Okay, so I see where y'all can see my screen now. Sorry, I just started to share it. Just so that you know, the objectives for the day, we're just going to talk about the reasons why the guest is going to hesitate in making that reservation with us. We're going to identify the best fallback option for addressing the caller's hesitation. And then we're going to convey to the guest a fallback option that's going to be the best one for them. At some points, it might instill a sense of urgency, and then certainly everything that we share with them is going to make them feel more confident in making that reservation with us. Emma, there's something that y'all do at the Hampton Inn & Suites in Portsmouth that is literally embedded at your front desk. It's embedded in stone. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
I actually like to call out Hamptons on that, because y'all are literally the only ones that have that that talk about this fallback option more than any other brand out there, and it is your 100% satisfaction guarantee. So while all the hotels, and by the way, I know sometimes it might feel like the guest is abusing the system, and they do, whether you have it embedded in your front desk or not. Some of them do, not all of them. We actually did some training with the Hilton Focus Service properties a few years back when they were kind of redoing the entire Hilton Honors program a few years ago. And they actually shared with us that 100% satisfaction guarantee was invoked less than, I think it was 7% it was invoked at less than 7% of all the inns in the inns and suites. So while it might feel like you got a lot of folks who are abusing the system or, using that, it's a lot less than you actually think. So that's good. I just think it's cool. It really does let that caller know that they can be very, very confident in making the reservation with you, because you're going to make sure that they're very happy. And while the other hotels may not have that, like the Residence Inn in Orangeburg, right? Not embedded at your front desk, you still have your Marriott promise, your hospitality promise that you can tell the caller about. So this is going to be probably the last fallback option that y'all would have to use. It's after you've exhausted every single other one, but by asking the resistance question and identifying their original reason on why they don't make the reservation is going to lead us to the correct fallback option from the very beginning. So there we go. All right, good. So if you don't know me already, and I think I've had a chance to talk to most of y'all, I'm Norma, your signature trainer and account manager, facilitator, your everything signature. So y'all know how to get a hold of me. If you ever have questions about your phone calls, the scoring, any of the skills, if you want to talk through any reservation scenarios or anything like that, y'all are welcome to reach out to me directly. I am always, always very happy to assist with anything that I can. In the magic formula, just want to kind of give you an idea of where we are on the phone call, where we start talking about the fallback options. You'll see that, and I've got all the skills up there. So your 3 rings in your greeting, asking you to use the caller name, match the arrival day and date, stay before they member the loyalty program, which I love because you can actually offer them the loyalty member rate, but you don't have to do that right away. But it's nice to know if they're a member or not from the beginning. That way you could kind of use that against them, but in a very positive way later on in the phone call. So we'll chat about that. Qualifying what's bringing to the area, benefits before rate, upsell, given 2-room rate options. No, actually not required to do upsell. But if you've got a couple of suites or rooms available that you think might work for the caller, and you want to be able to quote kind of at the higher rates before you have to go all the way down to the lower one, you certainly can. If you've got limited number of options for the guests, you only have to offer them one. So I know at the Residence Inn, y'all have got all kinds of suite options. Studio, 1 bedrooms. Lisa, do you have 2-bedroom, 2-bath residences at your property?
We don't. We just have 1 bedroom and 1 bath.
Okay. Oh my God, those 2-bedroom, 2-bath, they're giant. Have you ever seen one of those?
No, I have not, but we do get asked that question a lot if we have those types of rooms. So it's unfortunate that we don't, but it'd be nice to see one.
Could you imagine if y'all had those, if you had guests who are asking about them all the time, you would be selling out on those so much. They are ginormous. Imagine 2 bedrooms, 2 full baths, still the full living room and kitchen, and 3 TVs. The thing is enormous. Every now and then I when I go on site to my residents and clients, they put me in one of those and I just, I roam around the whole thing and, but I shut the door to one of the bedrooms, like not even to be tempted to go in there and jump around on the bed or anything, right? So they don't have to redo the whole thing. But yeah, they're just ginormous. They're really nice. But I love that you have callers or guests that are asking about them. That might be one of the reasons why they don't make that reservation with you. So the different ways that we could maybe overcome that through the different fallback options. So thanks for sharing that. If you've had just, Emma, I know at your Hampton, you're in Inn & Suites. So you've got the studio style suite with the king bed, the living area. It's larger square footage. And that's it, right? That's the only, the suite option that you have. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Do you have a few of those, or how many do you have? I think you have to have like 30% or something like that to be an Inn & Suite. Am I correct?
Yeah, we have a couple per floor. I'm not sure how many suites we exactly have.
Are they super popular?
Yeah, I would say they're pretty popular. Mostly for like weddings and stuff like that.
All right, I got one more question for you. And by the way, you can pretty much tell me anything you want right now because I don't know. But what is the the difference in rate from one of the suites and your traditional rooms? Is it like a $10 or $20 difference?
It honestly just depends on the date and the day of the week because our rates are always changing, so there isn't really a set amount difference between the room types.
So because you don't have like unlimited suites or a lot of different options on suites, when it comes to the upsell, I would just always quote the suite rate first. That way, if you get a caller and they're resistant to the rate, before you even have to go into maybe any discounting or anything like that, you can always drop down to the traditional room type and let them know it's exactly the same. It just doesn't have a living area, and the rate is bam. And so you're not having to go into offering any kind of discounts or any of that kind of stuff. So if you start high, you can always work your way down. Lisa, at the residence, you could certainly always start with your 1 bedroom. What's the worst thing they could say to the 1 bedroom resident? Lisa, if you quoted the rate on the 1 bedroom suite and then you asked to confirm, what's the worst answer you could get from the caller?
That they don't, honestly, a lot of them, to be honest, a lot of them, they always ask for the 1 bedroom suite because they just find it more roomy and they like the fact that it has a separate room. So, we don't really have like a downfall to that, but if it's anything, it's usually like the older couples, more like the seniors, the couples that's really where we get more of that downfall, is because they don't want the big space. They'd rather have something like the studio, which is more open. It's
sure.
It's a little bit more closed in. So,
by the way, I love that you're not getting a lot of resistance to the one bedroom, but every now and then you will get, like you said, that maybe that senior couple or whoever, they're like, that might be too much. So the worst thing they can tell you is exactly that. No, I don't want to reserve that. It's too much. We don't need all that space. What else do you have? And of course, you could immediately jump down to the studio, right?
Right.
My biggest thing with the with fallback rate, because the rate is definitely going to be one of the reasons why they might resist making that reservation. So if we always start higher, it doesn't have to be, the penthouse with the private jacuzzi and, that kind of thing. But if you always start at the room option that's one step up from it sounds horrible to say it, the lowest room they would want, or the lowest price. I mean, you know what I mean. Not that you have horrible rooms. Colwen has amazing hotels, so there's not a bad room in it. I don't care where y'all put somebody, right? But if you start higher, you can always work your way down. And then even if you have to, if you've got somebody who really likes the idea of the suite, the one bedroom, you could always say, well, let me see if I've got any discounts that might apply to that. So it's just a lot easier to start high, work the way down, than it is to go with your most affordable room type and then try to build up from there. It's pretty rare that you have somebody who's asking for more, but hopefully that's something that might come out while you're qualifying on what's bringing them into the area. Maybe they're coming in for a special occasion or something like that. So you could immediately go for maybe a package or the bigger, better room type. Like you mentioned earlier, the wedding parties, the bridal party might like that so you might get some of those that might want more, and hopefully you'll be able to identify that when you're asking what's bringing them into the area. If we were going to go in and figure out the most common reasons why you've got resistance to making reservations, what do you think are the top reasons? So rate would be one of them. What else do you think is keeping the caller from making the reservations with you? Lisa, what do you think it is at your hotel, other than rate?
I mean, sometimes we get of the area. A lot of the times, the guests ask if we're like how far we are from Manhattan, and because of we're not that far. We're only like 50 minutes out, but a lot of the times they try to get closer, so they go to Westchester.
Okay.
But
that makes sense.
I'm not too sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Location, they want to be, closer to, by the way, I love it that they want to be closer to Manhattan. You just made me want to come and visit you, because I love that out there. I'm going to come visit all of y'all, because you've got great locations everywhere. I told Randy I'm coming out to visit, and he said, come on out. I said, okay, good. So maybe I get to come see all of you and him sometime soon. But just, they want to be closer to Manhattan. What is the challenge if you stay at a hotel that's either in Manhattan or a lot closer to Manhattan than you are, Lisa? What happens for the guest or for the caller at that point?
I mean, they start to really get hesitant, but I mean, as far as what I do, I try to do my best in offering what the hotel has, just so they can stay there, and that, transportation to wherever they need to go is very easy around us. If it's
there you go.
Or a bus.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that,
Yeah.
And think about, if you ever pull up any of the residences that are actually in Manhattan, I can't even imagine what the difference is in rate per night to be in Manhattan versus where you are, So, and sometimes we have to kind of explain that to the caller. You get a lot of guests nowadays who are very educated, and we love that. Well, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Sometimes they know too much, right? But they, the ones that know a little bit more, that's great. They're really easy to take care of. Sometimes you don't even have to worry about them. They make their reservations online. They do mobile check-in, digital key, all that kind of stuff. We love them, but you've got the ones that don't know. And so it's up to us to take that little bit of time and kind of educate them on, just everything really, on how to make the reservation and where we're located. And the closer you are to Manhattan, the more expensive the rates are going to be, and they're probably not going to get that complimentary parking and those types of things. So kind of just walking them through the pros of staying with you, the cons of staying closer, closer to the city. But I love that you're throwing in how easy it is to get there, with the train or the bus and all of those types of things. So I like hearing that. Emma, what do you think is, other than rate and maybe location, is there anything that's keeping the guests from making reservations at your hotel?
Usually the biggest pushback I think we get, if it's not like rate or location, it's the parking fee, because we are downtown. A lot of people don't like the fact that they have to pay for parking. And sometimes they won't book with us for that reason. So I think, we try to offer them, like a park and stay package, or offer them alternate, parking options, street parking or public self-parking, which is more than the valet parking. But we just try to give them all the options to hopefully,
Absolutely. And I love that too. And I love that you know all of that, By the way, I love that you immediately have the park and stay package. What's on the screen right now are the reservation skills, which y'all are very used to, which y'all are doing a fantastic job with. You can ask additional questions in the phone call to even maybe be proactive in managing some of this resistance. So certainly somebody that's coming in to your property, you could ask them, you could ask them, will you be driving a vehicle, or will you be parking a vehicle? How are you going to be getting to us? If they're going to be bringing a vehicle, you could immediately, when it comes to pricing, when you go to quote the rate, you could even quote the park and stay package to them. And the worst thing they could say to that is, I don't care, my company's paying for it, let them pay for the parking, or blah, 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 whatever they would say. But just the fact that you could give them that option ahead of time, I think is awesome. The upsell, that might work for you. You could give them the studio suite with the park and stay package at this rate, or the exact same studio style suite without the park and stay package at this rate. So you're really essentially giving them two rate options at that time. So, but again, if it's going to be somebody who's driving a vehicle to the hotel. If they're not driving, they don't care. So it's okay for y'all to ask additional qualifying questions on there. Yeah, absolutely. I love the information that y'all have shared, because we've got the fallback options. There's 4 of them total that you can use, which will assist you with overcoming these reasons that they're resisting and why they're hesitating and making reservations with us. So I wanted to share resistance questions with you. So a lot of times you've got callers that will come right out and they'll tell you that rate's too high, or I'm not going to pay for parking, or how close to the city. They'll come right out and they'll ask you, or they'll tell you why they don't want to make the reservation. Sometimes when you ask to confirm, you will have a caller that's a little bit more vague, and they just might say something like, no, I'm not really ready to make that yet, or no, I don't want to confirm. Or they just flat out say no when you ask to make the reservation. The resistance question is the nice way to ask them why. So we want to make sure it's open-ended, and you can actually even tailor that question to kind of be more specific towards what's bringing them in, or even the reason that they just gave you. Do y'all ever hear, when you ask to confirm, do you ever have a caller that says, well, you know what, I need to check with my husband, or I need to check with my wife, and then I'll get back to you? I'm sure you've heard that at least once in your hotel life, yes? I'm sure. What time did y'all come into work today? Did y'all come in at 3 or 4?
I worked this morning. I'm actually calling from home.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so how many times did you hear? Are both of y'all calling in from home? Yeah. God bless you for doing that. And Nia just said she came in at noon. So whether you were working this morning or you're working right now, I'm sure you heard at least 3 times already, or 3 times this morning, the whole, I got to check with husband, wife, whoever. I'm sure you had heard that from a caller as kind of their quote unquote excuse as to why they didn't want to make the reservation. Yeah? I think it's one of the most commonly used phrases from callers. Well, let me check with my husband, or let me check with my wife. So imagine you could take the resistance question and say, Well, what questions do you think your husband might have about the hotel that I could answer for you and him? Isn't that pretty? That sounds good, right? Or they go, well, I do check with the rest of the party, the rest of my family or the rest of our party before we come out there. She could say, oh, I completely understand. What questions do you think everybody else in your party might have about the hotel in the area that I could answer for you, and you could pass that information on to them? Ooh, does that sound pretty? I think so. But then again, I'm a signature geek, so there you go. We actually call that a legendary resistance question. And you're taking what the caller gave you and you're kind of throwing it back in their face, but for all the right reasons, because you're listening, you understand what the challenges are, and we're making it more personalized. So in addition to fallback option training information that I'm going to send to the hotels following the sessions, I'm also going to send y'all some wonderful examples of the resistance question. So y'all can kind of start playing around with those and see if there's one that you like, and maybe you'll latch on to one of those legendary ones. I just think that those are amazing. But it's really just a nice way to ask them why they don't want to make the reservation. So in front of you, you've got a few different options, a few different questions. Lisa, looking at these, are there any of these that that you kind of sort of like?
I usually say the third one a lot, the third bullet point. Like, is there any questions I could answer for them about the hotel or the area? Sometimes with the calls, I even start off like that, you know, after getting their name and giving them the rate and everything and the benefits of the hotel, just in case if they have any questions, just to kind of stir up a conversation, I guess, with them.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. You know, there's a lot of places, and I love that none of the Colwen hotels do this. But you all know that there's a lot of hotels that are same brand as you, not Colwen, that aren't even managing calls at the hotel. A lot of them are just transferring to the 800 number. So right away, that specific caller is being sent away to an 800 number. We don't even know where it's located. They don't either. And then, you know, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the agents that work at the call centers, the 800 number, but they certainly can't answer specific questions like y'all can. And really, their goal is to convert phone calls. So to make that connection with the caller and get to know a little bit more about them and start to build that professional relationship and connection, that's not their main goal. So even by you saying, you know, asking the questions that you do and what are the questions do you have and is there anything specific you're looking for, right there, you're just demonstrating to the caller that it's really all about them and you're ready to just chat with them and take care of them and whatever it is that they need. So thank y'all for doing that. I love it. The resistance question, and I love this because if you don't make the reservation, they don't tell you why they don't want to. If we just let them go, it's really kind of an unfinished phone call. Or if we don't know why they don't want to make it, we might be offering to them the fallback option that isn't the correct one. You know, when I first started working with you guys a couple of years ago, everybody went right to the fallback rate. And so, you know, we had to have conversations about it. That's not the only one that's out there. You can have, you know, all three of your hotels have lots of corporate travelers that stay with you during the week. If it fits within their company's per diem and budget, they don't care about the rate. It's something else, right? So that's why it's important for us to make sure that we're identifying the correct reason so that we can offer the correct fallback options. So let me share with you the different fallback options which are available, and then we'll talk about them a little bit. And actually, this I think you had mentioned earlier about the limited availability, maybe. Oh, we already talked about rate. I'm sorry. I had another phone call on this earlier, and somebody was talking about limited availability. So let's talk about this. So why it works, well, it helps to create a sense of urgency. It's letting the caller know that they're going to be able to reserve something that everybody else in the world wants. You only have a limited number of them. And by the way, it could be the room type, it could be the rate, it could even be any special request that they might have. You know, maybe they need a room that's going to be close to the elevator or far away from the stairs or on the ground floor. Or maybe even if they need the true handicap accessible room, that type of thing. So y'all are always limited in what you have to sell. So Mia, how many, well, Mia's on the chat box, by the way. She's at the Hilton Garden Inn in Foxborough. So there you go, facing Gillette Stadium. I know that place, Mia. I've been there before. How many total rooms, Mia, do you have at your hotel? And you're more than welcome to just type it into the chat box. That's fine. How many total rooms at the Hilton Garden Inn? And we all wait. We're waiting. Hey, Emma, how many suites did you tell me that you have at your hotel? How many were you guessing?
Maybe like 10, maybe more.
And they're high demand, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, good. And Mia says she's got 136 rooms total. And of course, at her hotel, they've got traditional rooms and suites as well. So if we were with Mia at the Hilton Garden in Foxborough, and only 6 of the 136 rooms were reserved for whatever date the guest is looking for, would anybody on this phone call feel weird or that you were lying if you told the caller that you had limited availability? So you only have 6 reserved, there's 130 available. Does anybody feel like we're lying or that we're not telling the truth or do you feel weird at all about that? Nobody said no and nobody said yes, so I'm assuming everybody's okay. If for whatever reason, just in case, in your brain you're going, oh my God, am I lying to the guest? I'm really not telling them the truth. First of all, you have 136 rooms total. So you don't have unlimited availability, or we would be out there building more rooms as needed, right? And then think about each different room type that you have. You've got a limited number of each of those. Emma, you shared that you've got maybe 10 or 12 of the studio suites. If they want one of those, they better hurry up and reserve one of those, because guess what? You have a limited number of those, and they're very popular, and they tend to go first. Those are the things that you can share with the guests to stress that limited availability. As the occupancy gets higher, probably a lot of those discounts go away too, don't they? Maybe the AAA or the senior discount may not be available. Even just the rate in general is going to always be fluctuating based on occupancy and demand, those types of things. So the other thing that the caller may not realize is that you're not the only one who's selling your hotel. You've got your 800 number, you've got the websites, you've got third-party reservation sites, you've got Colwen salespeople selling you all over the place. So, I mean, your inventory is constantly changing. So this is something that you might have to make sure that the caller is aware of. And then I know that y'all are probably talking about your cancellation policies, but you don't see cancellation policy up here as one of the fallback options. You can always tie that into your second ask to confirm. So Lisa, what cancellation policy are y'all going with right now? Are you doing a 24 or a 48 hour at the residence?
We have 48 hours prior to the check-in date to cancel.
Perfect. So you could always tell that caller, you know, the 1-bedroom residence is really popular. I've got just a few of those. Are you sure you want to make the reservation now? Because you always have you've got 48 hours before the day of arrival to cancel. So you can throw the cancellation policy in with the second ask to confirm. So you're asking them for it one more time, but they still have the out if they need it. So use that cancellation policy. It works wonders on there, okay? Any questions or anything else that y'all wanted to share regarding limited availability, or are y'all okay with that? I'm sure y'all have been using this too. Perfect. 2 to 3 additional benefits. I'm going to show you some graphics in a little bit when it comes to this, but if it's something they're looking for that you have, tell them you got it, and then give them a couple more benefits that complement their original question. It's that added value. If it's something that they want that we don't have, we're actually going to give them some alternatives. So I'm going to share this with you as some fun visual ways to think about that and remember it in just a little bit. Fallback rate, seems like everybody's pretty comfortable with this. Again, start high, you can always work your way down. You've got your different discounts that you offer, the loyalty member. Y'all can even look at the advanced purchase, because I know that exists at all 3 brands. I want to talk about advanced purchase when we get to that specific slide. And then, of course, the 100% satisfaction guarantee. So this is where it's definitely going to instill that confidence, whether you're using that specific verbiage or you're just letting them know, this is who we are, this is our hotel, we're amazing, we know you're going to love it, just stay. We know it, we're guaranteed you're going to love it. So whatever words, whatever words you want to use and whichever ones are comfortable for you. So let's talk about it in a little bit more detail. So again, limited availability creates a sense of urgency. Remember, you've got limitations on occupancy, the room types, the bed types, preferences, rate, and even some of those special requests that they might have. There's you'll find that you use this quite a bit because you've got a big chunk of the population out there that is a personality type of amiable complacent. Are you all familiar with that? Have you ever heard that before, amiable complacent? This is the caller that is, I always picture them as like really kind of wishy-washy and they're kind of on the fence and they have a hard time making a decision. You know what? You're going to throw them on the other side of the fence, help them make that decision, reserve it now, but then you can always tell them you've got to cancel, you know, give them the cancellation policy. So you'll find that you'll use this one quite a bit. All right, so let's talk about additional benefits. So do y'all like to eat cookies, Oreo cookies? Lisa, do you like Oreo cookies?
I do, yes.
Do you like to eat them in the traditional sense or, you know, I mean, just like the regular Oreo cookie? You don't have any weird Oreo cookie things, do you? Oreo cookie issues?
No, not really.
Okay, good. What about you, Emma? Do you like Oreo cookies? Or even Nutter Butters? Do you like Oreos or Nutter Butters?
Yeah, I'm an Oreo fan.
Okay, all right, good. Mia, are you a fan of Oreos or Nutter Butters? I'm thinking of like the cream-filled cookies, right? Hopefully Mia likes Oreos too. I don't ever understand people who don't like chocolate or don't like Oreos, but I know they exist. I know there's people out there. Maybe not as big as super fans as me. Yes, look at Mia, double stuff. I love it. Me too. That's why I have the double stuff on here. So I love Oreo cookies. And my favorite part is the cream filling, if you can't tell from the pictures on there. So if I was the guest and I said, hey, do you guys have Oreo cookies? You would give me added value by saying, oh, heck yeah, we have Oreo cookies. Not only do we have Oreo cookies, but we have the double stuff, and we also have milk for you to dunk it in. Bam. So not only did you just give me what I wanted, but you gave me even more, right? Okay, so how about when it's something that you don't have? Then we don't want to just tell that customer no. If we come out, we go, no, we don't have that, or no, we don't do that. They're immediately maybe even going to get a little bit defensive, right? We're not even trying. We're not trying to work for them. We're not trying to do anything. We're just flat out shutting them down. So because my favorite part of the Oreo cookie is the cream filling, maybe y'all can think about that as the reverse Oreo cookie method. So if I ask you for something that you don't have, you're going to give me some double stuffed cream filling, right? Give me some good stuff, some alternatives. Tell me about that cookie, which you don't have, and then give me some more cookie, or give me some more double stuffed cream filling. So what is it that they're looking for? Well, you know what, Emma, you mentioned that sometimes they get a little bit of, you get resistance because you don't have the complimentary parking because you're a downtown hotel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So if I said, hey, Emma, do y'all have complimentary parking? What are you going to give me some double stuffed filling first? So tell me what one of the alternatives is. What's the positive to not having complimentary parking?
That they can just park, have their car parked in valet. They don't have to worry about it. It's free, come and go. So if they want to do stuff that's not in downtown, they're not going to be hit with an extra fee for coming and going from the property. They do have that spot till 4 p.m. on the day that they check out. So even after checkout time, if they're going to grab lunch or do shopping, they don't have to rush out of here if they're pressured to leave Portsmouth.
By the way, that is really, really accommodating of you guys to extend that parking way past the checkout time. It's really nice. And you're not charging them another day for it. I love that. So you know what you just did, Emma? You took like a package of Oreo cookies and you threw out every freaking cookie and just put all the cream filling together and just kept one cookie. You know that, right? Like the chocolate cookie, you just kept one of those that you opened up every Oreo and stuffed all that cream filling together for me with everything that you just shared. I love that. So give them all that information, So do you have complimentary parking? We've got parking at the hotel through valet, as much in and out as you want. You're not going to get charged every time that you're here. We'll even extend it past your checkout time. If you're having, everything that you just said. Then you go, however, we do not offer complimentary parking because we are a downtown location. Boom. And then if they're like, then you can give them those other alternatives if you need to, like, they can go self-park if they want and then walk back to the hotel, or find that parking garage or that parking lot where every time they go in and out, they're going to have to pay. Emma, have y'all ever done like an audit on parking fees in the area to see how your daily parking fee compares to some of the other hotels in the area?
I don't know if we've done like something specifically, but I know like most of the garages for overnight are about $30, and then most garages are a couple dollars per hour to park. So definitely, like, I encourage people to valet park, because by the time they check in from when they if they leave the car till 4, it breaks down to pennies compared to what they'd be paying in the public garage.
Yeah. And what is your nightly fee for parking?
Ours is $28.
Yeah. So I mean, so right there, even if they did just stay within that allotted time at a garage, they're going to be saving money. And then the parking at your hotel, is it actually at the property?
Yes, it is.
So their car is right there, easier to get it to them, all that good stuff. And does the lot belong to the hotel, or is it a lot that y'all use, that you partner with?
I believe it's owned by the hotel, and we rent it out to the valet company, I think. I'm not really sure.
I gotcha.
How that all
okay.
works.
But it's right there. Yeah. I mean, certainly the valet guys and everybody associated with the parking lot is much more invested in the safety, the security, the everything of the guest vehicles than they would at just some random downtown parking lot, So all of that information, that's given them a ton of double stuff from the Oreo, and then hitting them with the, with the cookie part, if it was me, right? If it was me asking about that. So, just being able to give them the alternatives, the other options to something that you don't have or you don't offer, that right there is going to be just huge for the caller. It's that added value. And then, of course, if it's something that you have, embrace that and see it as an opportunity to give them even more value, more benefits. When you think about the phone calls originally, when you're going through the benefits before rate, we're only offering like 4 or 5 benefits of the hotel, kind of a high level overview of the description of the rooms. Take this opportunity to just really throw more great stuff in there and build some added value for them. Lisa, is there anything big at your hotel they're asking for that you don't have, that you maybe kind of want to brainstorm the alternatives on, what you could offer them because you don't have fill in the blank, whatever they're looking for? Is there any one big thing that they're asking for?
I mean, as of January 1st, we had our complimentary residents and mix. So Monday through Wednesday, there was complimentary little appetizers, snacks, and drinks. And we're no longer doing that anymore, but we have extended on our bar menu. We actually added a lot of new items. We do, tell them that we have a ton of restaurants in the area. We have our complimentary shuttle that we can take them to, we can pick them up in. We're literally in the same parking lot as a supermarket. I mean, the residence and mix was pretty much the only complimentary thing that we had going on, of course, besides parking and Wi-Fi. But so that became a little bit of a challenge for us for a while. So we just pretty much try to gear up on our bar menu and just letting them know that we had expanded, we added new items. And it's actually become a really hit, so it's good.
That is good. And you know what? I have a question for you. So I actually learned about the mix going away when I was talking to y'all at the beginning of the year. Not all residences eliminated the mix. So is that a property specific kind of thing? So it was optional for a specific hotel to decide whether they wanted to continue with that or not?
I think so. I think a lot of the guests asked if all the residents did that, and we were kind of giving them like a not a false answer, but like, you know, it was just as January 1st we took it away. But I think it was our manager or GM. I think she found that we were putting too much money in the food, and we were getting rid of a lot of food, so the expense of it was going to be too much. So I guess they kind of decided just to take that away. And then Colwen asked Marriott, and Marriott said, you know, yeah, if you want to do it, do it. So now we don't have it anymore.
Well, and you know what? There's not a lot of residents. In fact, I don't know any residents other than the Colwen residents that have a bar.
That's
doesn't
what
really
we
exist.
get too. Yeah.
Yeah, and so and I'm sure that's probably why Marriott said it was okay, because you have all those alternatives for the guests. It's not like you were taking away everything from them, and you have something that's very unique to offset that. So makes sense, and it sounds like the guests really like it. It hasn't affected your survey scores in a real negative way, has it? Not that you're aware of.
No, yeah, nothing that we were aware of. I mean, we verbally get, you know, why do they take it away? You know, we like that, especially with our long-term stay guests who've been there for a year, 2 years, that, you know, they were expecting that 3 days out of the week. But no, I mean, as of now, it kind of just died down, and, you know, since we had expanded on the menu and added new items, we actually doubled in our revenue for the bar, so it's good.
Fantastic.
It's not just the bar, yeah.
Yeah, sounds like it was a good decision for you guys to make. And by the way, I love that you mentioned there's the supermarket right next door, right across the street. Because if they really dug, you know, the make your own Sunday bar, or, you know, whatever that was, we'll go grocery shopping and get all the Sunday fixings for you and put it in your suite. Or you can go across the street and get it. It's right there, you know. So just the fact that the stuff that they loved that was on the mix each night, they can't get it, but they could get it across the street now if they want to, or at the supermarket. So I love that mentality also. That's cool. See, the Colwen residences, the only ones I know with bars in them. That's crazy. Yeah. I actually have a Fairfield Inn suite in Texas, and it's the only Fairfield in existence with a bar. And people just, they're like, what? You have a bar? I mean, they're like freaked out that they have one there. And then the kids at the hotel, they don't even realize what a big thing that is. I go, you're the only ones. The only ones that exist with a bar. And they go, really? I'm like, yes. They don't even understand what a huge thing that is. Especially those members, for, you know, whether it's the honors member or the Bonvoy member, they know the brand so well. And then when you can surprise them with something wonderful like that, that's really cool. Yeah, and something unique just for you. So see, let them try to go stay at some residence inn in Manhattan. See if they get a bar there. I don't think so. They're not going to get that. They're not going to have somebody tell them, hey, the supermarket's right across the street. That's not going to happen. So there they go. Yeah. I have a couple of examples for y'all on the additional benefits. So, okay, so Lisa, well, let's do the first one together. So I'll be the caller and you be the you, and you just read it exactly the way it's written, okay?
Okay.
So Lisa, do you have a swimming pool?
We do have a beautiful outdoor pool and hot tub. We would provide you with the pool towels, so you don't need to worry about packing them in your suitcase.
Love it. They asked about the pool, not only talking about the pool, but we also have the hot tub and the pool towels. I love it. And instead of just like, yeah, we got a pool. I mean, it's really an opportunity to just kind of zhuzh it up and paint a nice picture for them. Okay, so Emma, are you ready? I'm going to ask the second one. I'll be the caller, you be the you, and you can read it just the way it's written, okay? Okay. Emma, do y'all offer airport shuttle at your hotel?
There are several cab companies who provide service to and from the airport. While we do not offer shuttle service, we will be happy to provide you with the names and phone numbers of these cab companies.
Perfect. Love it. And of course, I'm sure y'all have, you've got not only the cabs, but there's probably Uber and Lyft and all of those options out there. So all the things that you can offer to the caller about not having the shuttle service, or, you know, whatever it is that they're looking for. Do either one of your hotels, and I know the Foxborough property doesn't because they're nowhere close to at least the Logan Airport, which is that's where I flew into. But do y'all offer shuttle service or airport shuttle?
No, not to
We
the
don't have
airport.
a service.
Okay. And do you get this question a lot?
I do. I do, yes.
So, and you probably do let them know about cabs and Uber and Lyft and all that. And my biggest thing when I talk about this, we'll give you the phone numbers, or you can get the app, or whatever. Even if there's like a preferred like a town car service or something we all use, we'll be happy to provide you with the name and phone number, and you can make arrangements. Because if you say, I'll be happy to call them and we can, set up the pickup for you, whatever, what they hear in their head is you're going to call, you're going to set it up, and guess what? You're going to pay for it too. So we have to be really careful with that. So we'll give them the information, and then they can take care of everything else. So, they kind of just hear what they want to hear sometimes. Yeah. How do y'all like the additional benefits on what you do have? I'm sorry, can you hear my dog? That's terrible. Additional benefits on what y'all do have, expand on that, and when you don't have something, making sure that you're giving them the alternatives. How are y'all feeling about those? You like it?
Yeah.
I love it. I was a signature client before I started as a trainer almost 19 years ago. And we would talk about, the fallback rate, limited availability, but at the time there was never a lot of conversation around the additional benefits, which is why I think I love this one so much, because there were so many times when I should have expanded on all the cool stuff that we had to offer, and I didn't. I mean, I was working at a hotel that was 5 minutes from the beach, and when they go, well, hey, do y'all have a shuttle service to the beach? I'd be like, no, sorry, we don't do that. When there was nobody that was like, it's like, it's walking distance. You don't even have to get a ride over there. If I had just known this a little better, then I probably would have been a better salesperson. Yeah. Mia, thank you for sharing that you've got business cards for the shuttle companies. I love that. Give them the name, give them the phone number, let them arrangement. You could let them know that it's your preferred shuttle company, and then let them make all the arrangements, because they will misconstrue what you share with them, and some of them might see it as, well, Mia told me that she was going to pay for it, just when y'all are making the arrangements. So just something to keep in mind, and I'm sure y'all have maybe had that experience or you've heard that before. Fallback rate, we talked about this earlier. So again, it's AAA, AARP, some of those discounts. It could be the package, like the park and stay. It could be a different room type, or even loyalty member rate. The beautiful thing about Bonvoy or being a Hilton Honors member is that they don't have to have that higher level of membership or that higher status to qualify for that member discount. So in the phone call, when y'all are finding out if they are a member, if they are, you can save that member rate if you get rate resistance. If they're not, you can always offer to enroll them, and then you can immediately offer them the discount. The other thing that you have available to you is going to be the advanced purchase. Do any of the three of you ever use the advanced purchase as a fallback rate?
I don't, not really.
Okay. And again, it may be like that 100% satisfaction guarantee, where it might be like the last thing that you offer to them after you've exhausted all the other options. Every single one of the hotels on this phone call, all three of you offer a advanced purchase discount. There's certainly some parameters around it. The restrictions, like, I think it's like 2 weeks in advance, and it's pay up front, and there's no cancellation, or, you got to cancel 14 days out, or with some it's 7 days out, or that kind of stuff. So if you want to familiarize yourselves with that and how it looks online, I recommend that you do, and you can offer it to the caller, but I also recommend that if they are interested in that you have them make that reservation through your hotel website, just so that you've got like the paper trail backup in case they come back and they try to deny that they agreed to pay for it in advance. I could make the reservation with Lisa, and Lisa, you tell me all about it in the advanced purchase, and I'm like, oh, that's great, it sounds wonderful, and I reserve it, and then, 4 or 5 days before my arrival date, I call back and I go, I want to cancel, and I'm told that I can't, and I could just very easily say, well, Lisa never told me that, and now it's my word against Lisa's, and that's no fun. That's not a fun situation for anybody to be in. But if they go through the website, they have to agree to the terms and conditions, and so you can kind of have like that paper trail to be able to use as your backup on there. And just FYI, y'all, with your with the advanced purchase, they have 24 hours from the day that they reserve it, 24 hours to go back and cancel it before anything gets charged to their credit card. So you can tell them that too. You know, you can make it now, go online, reserve it. If something happens within the next 24 hours, you can still go back, cancel it, and you'll get all your money back. So y'all don't even charge them for it until after 24 hours if they've actually reserved it online. Just so that y'all are aware of that. Again, it might be one of those last resort fallback rates after you've exhausted all of the other options out there. Any questions or challenges or anything else that y'all wanted to share as far as the fallback rate goes, or is everybody pretty comfortable with that? Cool. Remember, if you start a little higher, it'll allow you all of the other options to work through when you've got that rate resistance. So you don't have to discount right away, and you don't have to go to the most affordable room. Start a little bit higher, unless, of course, they ask you for that. They go, I'm online, I see your traditional room, and I'm a senior citizen, can I get that discount? That's the one that knows a lot of information. They're very educated, so let's just give them what they want. Hopefully they'll take it, and if not, well, then we'll see why they don't. We'll try to fix that. The 100% satisfaction guarantee. So again, Emma, I'm sure this is something that you're very familiar with. Mia also. That's the Hilton Garden Inn is a focused service property, so they're very much embrace 100% satisfaction guarantee. Lisa, again, while you don't have this specific verbiage at your hotel, you do have that Marriott promise, that hospitality promise that you can share with the caller, and it really just lets them know that you stand behind everything that they're going to experience at the hotel. Don't have to use it right away. Definitely something that you could use after you've exhausted every other option out there. Okay. In closing the phone call, so once you figured out why they don't want to make the reservation with the resistance question, we've overcome that reason for resistance with the appropriate fallback option. You go ahead and ask to make that reservation one more time, and this is where you can throw in that cancellation policy. If they still say no, that's perfectly fine. You've done everything you could up to this point. You thank the caller, they're welcome to call you back, or they make the reservation, we look forward to your visit, whatever the case may be, however the call ends at that point, okay? All right, so let me narrow it down a little bit to exactly where the fallback is. So again, kind of towards the middle of the phone call. You've qualified benefits, you quoted the rate you asked to confirm, they might resist, so there's your different fallback options. You ask for the reservation one more time, and hopefully from there, ta-da, you did it, you made that reservation with them. So, in talking about the resistance question, fallback options, second ask to confirm with cancellation policy, what questions do you ladies have about fallback options or concerns? Man, I love this. You know, y'all are so fantastic on this phone call, but you're not giving those who are going to listen to the recording. You're not giving them a lot of stuff for them to talk about on your hand. I'm just messing with you. Maybe if anything, the people who listen to the recording are going to go, "Dang, those girls are really good. I should be that good," right? That's the way that we want them to see you. So you're comfortable with all the fallback options that are out there and available for you. Lisa, are you more comfortable with the fallback options after this call?
I am. I was sometimes a little hesitant in the beginning, but honestly, the more and more that I do like the training, calling into the signature worldwide and everything, it's becoming a lot better.
I love it.
Yeah. Especially with the verbiage and everything. So no, but it's a lot better, and our supervisor is always on top of us and giving us other options of what we can say as fallback. So if it's not giving them a discounted rate, or if it's offering the cancellation, or even asking them why they wouldn't want to make the reservation.
I love that. And I love, thank you, first of all, thank you for sharing that the more you do it, the more comfortable you become. And then also with calling into the coaching and more practice, that makes it even easier. And then having the managers and the supervisors support. All of y'all have great, great people around you who are supporting you with that at the property. And then, of course, with Signature, between myself and the coaches and everybody else, I'm so happy that y'all are embracing that and utilizing all of the resources that are out there for you. And it really is. I mean, the more you do it, the more comfortable it becomes, and the more second nature. Where, I mean, you don't even have to kind of think about it. It just kind of comes out of your mouth, and you know exactly how to manage all of those calls. Emma, how are you feeling about fallback options at this point? More comfortable? Did I confuse anybody anymore? Or hopefully everybody's feeling a little bit more comfortable and confident with these.
Yeah, I think the call had definitely some good pointers for offering fallback options in different ways than we have before.
Fantastic. Hopefully, and y'all let me know. Hopefully you're more comfortable even with the additional benefits, right? And remembering about the Oreo cookie, right? And so when you're out there and you're doing that with real callers, if you have some cool experiences, some successes, make sure you give me a shout out and let me know so I can know how it's going. If you're like, oh my God, I messed up and I was going to tell them about the pool and I started talking about Oreo cookies and they thought I was insane. So if that happens, you can let me know that too. But I love hearing the successes that y'all have when you go and you apply everything that you're learning, not just from me, but from your managers and supervisors, and certainly from our coaching team also. Mia, anything that you wanted to share? You more comfortable with fallback options at this point as well? She says, good refresher. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Or goof. I'm a goof that delivered a good refresher. So both of those are correct, Mia. Thank you. Yeah. So I have some notes for myself on things that I'm going to follow up with for all of you. So I've got this same session is happening tomorrow afternoon at the same time. So I'm going to wait until all those folks get to attend, and then I'm going to follow up with the hotels and I'll send it over. But I'm going to send you training moments. So they're kind of like a coaching call on paper. So it's a little bit about the skill, why we do it, how to do it, and then some examples. I'm going to send them for the fallback options and also for the resistance question. I will, again, send the coaching information just in case somebody needs it. If you want the coaching flyer or even the request for coaching calls that your managers are all familiar with, they can actually request additional phone calls where we'll call you. And it'll sound a lot like a shop call, but at the end of the call, the coach will say, hey, Emma, it's Norma with Signature Coaching. Got a few minutes? And they'll give you immediate feedback on what you just did on the call. Those are also not recorded or scored or anything like that. So it's kind of double dipping on coaching. And I'll send that to them. And then, of course, we'll continue to have these additional web sessions on different topics. So before I let y'all go, what other questions do you have for me on anything, either fallback options or anything else related to our phone calls, anything at all? No questions for me? Thank you so much for being part of this. Oh my gosh, Lisa and Emma, thank you for calling in from home. I appreciate that so much. Mia, thank you for calling in from the hotel, which I'm sure is crazy busy right now. So thank you for taking time away from the front office to come and be a part of this phone call also. Ladies, my contact information is there. Remember, you don't have to wait for these web sessions. You are more than welcome to reach out to me at any time for anything at all that you need, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you being here. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll be in touch soon, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.